Thursday, so we have a lot going on today. Everyone needs to get their assignment from slides 23 and 24 turned in today. On Thursday, I went over slides 23 and 24. Here's student examples of 23 and of 24 right here. You don't have to put this color wheel on there unless you want to, okay? But you definitely need to put in all the notes that we've worked on for the last couple of days this week, okay? That is right here located under assignments. 23 and 24. I see several of you've already turned it in, and it says notes must have your name and period displayed on the slideshow. That way I know you actually created it. Slide 23 is 2 images, and it explains what I want on the left, which is the drawing of the color wheel, and then the one on the right is it filled in with your name and period on it. Then slide 24 is the notes and the drawings of the primary, secondary, tertiary, warm, cool, complementary hues and tints. So that's really important. I have another student coming in. Let me fix that real quick. Okay, so that's 23 and 24. That is due today at 7 p.m. So that's worth a total of 100 points. You can't say I didn't go over it and give you extra time. So today we are going to start the mandala art project. I'm really, really excited about this. You will need a large circle. I took a picture of a CD because that's what I have available. Students in class, I gave them CDs as well to work with. This could be a CD or a bowl. All right, you're going to need those. Remember, we collected all of those a while back. Got another student that's tardy. You're also going to need a pencil and a ruler. So I'm going to give you I'm going to give you a minute or two to gather those. While you're gathering those, I'm just showing you some physical examples of what the possibilities are in color pencil. I love color pencil, even if it's the cheap Crayola color pencils from the dollar store. You can make amazing things with color pencils. Now, if you happen to have a budget for art supplies, I highly recommend, and they're not cheap, Prismacolors. Like, let's say you plan on taking AP next year. You can get it pretty cheap on Amazon. Prismacolors are like fancy color pencils. They're amazing, okay? It's just a recommendation. Some people like to get art supplies of their own. If you're in AP or special studies next year, you can check them out with me, or you can order your own. A lot of students that do have a budget for this like to buy their own. They're amazing. They're very creamy. You can blend and do amazing things. These are examples in Prismacolor right here, here, and here. These are regular color pencils. These are all regular color pencils. And if you notice, it's a full value range of each hue. And we watched an instructional video about that. And I'll put for AP, in case anybody was wondering. I just like to give you guys little shout outs of things that I recommend from time to time. All right, slide 25 is going to be our artistic mind map, and that, not mind map, what am I saying? Mandala, artistic mandala color wheel. So this will be the title. I'm going to go over the rubric for it later, but today we're going to just start creating the color wheel. This will take us, I'm thinking about a week and a half to 2 weeks for this art project, okay? I'm going to give you time to do high craftsmanship for it, and I'm trying to break it down into easy little steps, and I'll be documenting and drawing along with you. But hopefully everybody has already grabbed their bowl, grabbed a straight edge or a ruler, and a pencil. All right, I am going to turn on my camera. Where did it go? Ta-da! Here's my camera. And I'm also going to pull up the mandala presentation. I'm trying to pull it up. Come on. Yada! Now, we've already talked about this presentation, but I just wanted to break it down into even easier steps. So we understand what a color wheel is, and now we are going to draw one. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out how to kind of get it all on this presentation to share with you. I have too many things on my screen, and it just refuses to move. Move. Sorry, sometimes when you start something, it just takes a while. Thank you for your patience. Okay, so we already talked about the history. We've already talked about, and you saw somebody do a mandala. We're going to break it down into little easier steps. So now that you know how to mix colors, which is what we just went over, we're going to create a mandala-inspired color wheel. It will incorporate 12 main colors of the color wheel and have many designs. And so we're going to work on that. And the first step is we're going to need that bowl with a diameter of 5 to 6 inches to create a circle and divide it into 12 sections using a ruler. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is get our paper. And we're going to go ahead and put our name on the top. Mrs. Brown. And this is period 4 in the upper right hand corner, so I know this is yours. You're not plagiarizing. But since we can, I'm going to write here slide 25 so you know which slide it's going to be. And then we're going to write artistic mandala, M-A-N-D-A-L-A, color wheel. Okay. I'm going to put this a little bit lower than middle. Right about there. I'm going to go ahead and trace this. So I know you're going to need some time to do this. When you're done, just give me a yes. Karina, can you clarify? I'm not sure. I don't understand your question. Karina? Oh, I've never used those before. Oil pastel, oil-based, you're gonna have to do some research on that versus, like, I would look those up versus Prismacolors. I bet you can watch some YouTubes and feedback about it. I only use the Prismacolors. Great question. I'm sorry, I don't have the answer. I haven't experienced them. She was asking about Prismacolors. I think that the Prismacolors are oil-based as well. I'm not really sure. So in the video, in the slideshow, we're going to be putting 12 halves, but first we need the diameter here. And we're going to have to figure out how to cut this in half evenly. And you may have a ruler. I always recommend a clear ruler, but we're in a pandemic and sometimes it's hard to get materials. So we're going to do the best we can to divide it into half equally, just like the example of this right here. So I'm going to try to figure out where my half is. I would imagine if you put your ruler to 0, the largest part of the circle, it gets smaller when I go lower. So I'm like, oh, no. I want it as large as possible, and that would break this into 0. I imagine this is probably the halfway point from 0. This is almost 5 inches, not quite. That's the largest part I could measure. If I go higher, it gets smaller again. So that's how I know this is 0. So the largest measurement that I could break this in half, and I'm looking at my clear ruler, yeah, that looks pretty much like halfway. So there's my diameter line. It's not perfect, but it's not bad. Robert, how are you doing with this?
I'm doing good. I'm catching up right now.
Okay, so you're not done yet. So I'm gonna slow my roll. You let me know when you're done.
Okay.
I'm gonna take a picture. I should have taken a picture of the first step, and I didn't. Because I didn't take a picture of the first step, I'm gonna make another one of these. Because you know me, I like to have steps for street cred, in case somebody was absent. So the first step, I traced it slightly lower than middle. Step 1. And I wrote my name, Mrs. Brown, period 4, slide 25. What did I call this? Artistic mandala color wheel. Okay. So that was step 1. Let's get a picture of this. Oh, I gotta get my ruler in there. These are all the materials we're gonna need today. Is this in focus? Now it is. Step 1. Now I'm going to do my step 2 again. From 0. I want the largest area. The higher I go, the smaller this goes from 0. See how the ruler makes it smaller and smaller. I can see more here. So I want it as big as possible, that measurement from side to side on that circle. It's right about here. I'm going to do a halfway line. It's not going to be perfect because, we're human. All right. So that's step number 2. Make my little fancy pencil. Here, I don't know if they can see that. Okay. Take another picture because I can. Are you done yet? Robert, you never told me.
Yeah, I'm done.
So I can move on to the next step. Now that we have half, we're going to do fourths. So I'm going to put the ruler vertical. from 0 to the largest measurement I can get on this. And you just kind of have to eyeball it and do the best you can to make a straight line into fourths. Okay, I'm gonna take another picture of this. Voila! So we got a piece of pie with 4 halves. I know this is going to take a little while. How are you doing, Robert?
Good.
So can I move on to the next step?
Yes.
Okay. So now we're going to do a diagonal. Oh, this is going to be tricky, actually. How do I explain this? We need to break up one section into thirds, okay? So I'm going to eyeball it as best as I can. I want to have a slice that goes like this. So I think I'm going to do tick marks. I'm going to measure this. I have a ruler, you may not. It's about a little bit over 3 inches. So I'm going to try to do tick marks a little bit larger than 3 inches. So I'm going to make a tick mark here and a tick mark here. And I'm going to try, let me zoom in. Watch me first. I'll give you plenty of time, guys. So I'm trying to divide this into 3 sections. So I'm winging it. I'm putting little tick marks, and you might have to adjust it. I think I need to make it a little bit wider than the tick mark I did. I want 3 slices within this one chunk here. I'm eyeballing it to try to make them look even. Now you see why it's so important to have a clear ruler. I passed these out at the front office for you guys to pick up. I had like a little baby ruler. It would look like this. You can always go and pick it up. So we're dividing it into thirds. I wasn't happy with my tick mark, so I'm going to erase that. This is my first time teaching this, so if I do it wrong, I'm sorry. Bear with me. I'm old. It's my excuse for everything. So you just try to wing it as best as you can. I know this is going to take you guys some time, so let me know when you're done. Does anybody need help? Nadine, how are you doing? All right. Please communicate. I don't read minds. Oh, they're wax-based. That's interesting. I'll tell you what, I really like the Prismacolors because they blend together like an oil painting. So wax and oil are kind of similar, but they could be different. So I don't really have a lot of input on that. Look at examples of both in Google as artworks and see which one you like more. And read the reviews. That's my recommendation. Once you're happy with this section, I think you know what you're going to need to do for the other sections. You can, if I'm happy with this, and I think I am, I'm just going to do a diagonal line from there. And that'll fix this bad boy right here. I don't want to go too fast. Am I going too fast, Robert? Robert? Miss Brown, you're going too fast. No, Miss Brown, you're doing just fine. I don't think he has any input for me. Juliana, am I going too fast?
No, you're good. I'm caught up.
Well,
Yes.
I think I told you last time, but I'm using my iPad and the screen's broken. So every
Okay,
time
I'll
you call
stop
me,
asking you questions.
yeah, it takes a minute for me to take the mute off.
Oh, that's all right. Okay. Thank you for letting me know. So I'm not going too fast, though? All right, so now I'm doing the diagonal from those other ones to help me make equal parts on this side. I'm trying to do this smarter, not harder. I'm trying to break it down into easy steps. Does that make sense? Was that easy?
Yeah, somewhat actually.
Okay, good. How are we doing, Miguel? Am I going too fast? Miguel? Julieta, am I going too fast?
No, you're good.
All right. How about you, John? Am I going too fast?
No, it's all right.
Can I start the next section?
Yeah.
All right. It's pretty much the same thing we already did here. I'm going to separate these into thirds. I'm going to use my ruler. Because I was so happy with what I eyeballed here, I'm just going to measure that section. So it's like 1 inch and 2 ticks. So I'm going to go here, 1 inch and 2 ticks to figure out my next section where I need that tick mark. Boop. 1 inch and 2 ticks was what my measurement was. Boop. And if you don't have that, you can just eyeball it too. Oh, you know, I think I need to move it over a bit. Those don't look like equal areas. Do what you got to do to just make it, you know, look equal. Sometimes our eyes are better than the ruler. My ruler was wrong. So I made tick marks so that I'm satisfied with where the area goes. And on this side, because I'm just, you know, in a hurry, I guess, I'm going to do the full diagonal. Ta-da! Speed things along. Take a picture of that. And then my other tick mark, I'm going to eyeball it to see. I'm lucky I have a clear ruler. I don't know if everyone else has a clear ruler. They're my favorite. Yeah, I was totally off on that other one. Ta-da! It's not perfect, but it's close enough. I tried my best to make an effort to not throw it together. And then count it. Make sure you got 12 sections. You should if you followed the steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yay! Now, I really don't want to rush us. You're all, you know, going at different paces. While you're working on this, I'm going to see what the next step is because I have no idea what it is. I've never made this one before. Oh, I see. Ooh la la. Now you're supposed to have all your different circles, different sizes. So I'd get those bad boys ready. I have a mug. I have a sauce container. I got a cap. I told you guys to have this stuff ready to rumble. I have a plastic cup with 2 different ends. I'm gonna make this nice and big. Doo-doo-doo. Da-da-da-da-da. You're gonna need your ruler. You're gonna need your pencil. Oh yeah. What happens if I turn the light on? Does that make this like more glamorous? More obvious? Obvious. These are the materials you need, obviously. We're not there yet, but we are gonna need all these different shapes. I didn't think about this, but students that are alive, you don't have these circles, I bet. Do you?
No.
Ah!
Started all over.
I have to get another circle. You started over. It wasn't that, if you draw lightly, you never have to erase. Draw lightly. Whew. What flavor should we do aromatherapy today? Orange? Is always my go-to.
Really?
I don't, it's a bigger bottle than the others. I don't know why. I think I'm just trying to get rid of it.
My go-to.
I like,
Lavender.
huh?
I usually do lavender.
Lavender. I don't love lavender. I don't know why. I think I'm dead inside. I don't know. So I have these cups. You can use the trace with as well. Got the CDs. Okay, so they're all right here for you. Now, we needed 4 different sizes. The cup, I have a smaller size on one side and a larger on the other. I have the cap. I have the salsa container, so there's options. Make this smaller. We're gonna move on to the next step soon. Are you guys ready for the next step?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. I don't like her example. Keep in mind, this is not my lesson. I've never done this lesson before. She has labeling. Label in pencil. You will erase later. And she wrote it dark because she wanted you guys to see. I don't want you to do this dark. I want you to do this really lightly. And so I'm going to abbreviate because I think it's going to be easier to erase later. And I'm going to do it as lightly as possible. So you're going to follow my style, not hers. Okay? But I just kind of wanted you guys to understand. And I'm going to make this in focus. Draw lightly so you don't have to erase much. So I'm lightly drawing an R. I am lightly drawing an R, O. Ooh, I don't think you guys can see this. Ta-da! Lightly. I really hope you understand that I'm saying lightly. And then O stands for orange. What does YO stand for, Juliana?
Yellow, orange.
You got it, girlfriend. And then Y. And then Y, G. These will be easier to erase than writing the full out names. I think you guys understand the labeling. YG. And then I'm lightly drawing G. We always do this lightly. What does BG mean? Juliana. I keep calling on you because I know you'll answer.
We'll agree.
You got it. Then we got B. I just feel so lonely and nobody talks to me. I need that student feedback. Let's have somebody else answer. What does BV stand for? Somebody.
Blue, violet.
Yes. And then V. Come on.
Violet.
Yes, thank you. And then RV.
Red, violet.
Yes, we had 6 people talk. This is so nice. That's all I want. I just want somebody to talk to me. I'm lonely. All right. Thank you, guys. That was fun. All right. I'm going to take a picture of this. Why am I asking you to draw these lightly? Somebody?
So we could erase them later.
Yes, and it's easier. If you do it dark, it's going to leave a mark on the paper. We don't want that. I even drew this little sloppy in the middle. Don't worry about it. We do the best we can. It's not that big of a deal. I'm pretty happy with that. I'm going to give you guys time to work on that. I'm going to see if I can, oh no, see what's next. What's next? I don't remember the steps. I'm so curious. Oh my goodness, this one's the scary one where you need the different circles. What does she want? 3 rings. Add a minimum of 3 rings. So you could do more than 3 rings, but you have to do at least 3 rings. So she's got 4 different bowls here. But if you have, like me, I have many different sizes I could do. But you have to have at least 3 rings. Oh, this is so exciting. How many rings are you going to do, Juliana? There's no wrong answer unless you say 2. You're not sure yet? Well, that's kind of exciting.
Yeah, whatever happens.
So she has 1 ring, 2 rings, 3 rings, and then this one is the 4th, I guess. So you don't have to do this many, but you need to at least have 3 rings. This is 4 rings. It depends on how like psychedelic, complicated you want it to look. But you gotta have at least 3. Okay. What is the next step? I want to see ahead just so I make sure I don't say or do something wrong. Oh, okay. All right. So now I'm going to try this step with the 3 rings. I'm scared. Let me make mistakes first. Let me try first before you guys do it. That's my advice. Let's see if the teacher messes up. So that way you can learn from my mistakes. I'm scared. It might look terrible, so you don't want to do it first. Trust me. I'm going to try to center this cap. I have a soda cap. Does it look centered? Hard for me to tell. I'm looking around all sides. If I was smart, I'd use my ruler. Duh. It ends here. Oh. Okay. I think that's right. Is it the same here? Nope. It's a little bit over. What about over here? Ooh, needs to be a little higher. Like that. Like that. Like that. It's not perfect. This is handmade. What the? It looks fairly similar to me. I'd rather you take your time and eyeball it as best as you can. I think that's as good as it's going to get for me. And I'm going to lightly draw a circle. I had to do it dark so you guys can see on the camera, but you're going to do it lightly. That way you can hide boo-boos. Oh, it's not dead center. It should have been a little bit more this way. It's good enough. I did the best I could. I'm going to take a picture of that. It's a little sloppy, but it is what it is. Do-do. I like to document my stages for you. Oh, I'm scared. I'm going to use a clear one. I'm a cheater. How many rings am I going to do? Does that look centered? Eh. I'm going to try to take a picture of this. Luckily, this is clear, so I can kind of fake it. You're doing this lightly, so if we're gonna go over all this with colors and stuff, we can hide boo-boos. It's not the end of the world. It's not perfect, but that's okay. I'm not mad at it. We're gonna go over this with pen and color pencil. It's not the end of the world. Some of you, I think, are being a little too critical of yourselves. This is a beginning class, and we are, doing this remotely from home with whatever we happen to have. Now I'm turning that cup over. Let's see if I can take another picture. Learn from my mistakes. Let me do this first, and you can learn from me. What to do, what not to do. Trying to look around all the edges. I cannot tell. It might look mediocre. It's not terrible. I'll take it. How many rings do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4. Cool. I'm going to give you guys time to figure yourselves out. I'll be back. Any questions for me? If it's not perfect, redraw it over. You can always erase the lines. We're going over this in color pencil anyways and pen, so nobody will see the pencil. I'll be right back. You doing okay? Yeah. You doing okay? Back in a minute. So the bell's about to ring. If you get this far, great. If you don't, do it today, later today. Have a fantastic day. I'm going to stop the video. And we'll start the pattern tree tomorrow.